ewo studio ha dada broja twe akonwa ne brase kakra. No, I think use the middle one. Good. Akwa better saying
Obi me just so by life could be better.
Danyamiase. Say Ochina, you're excited about tomorrow, right?
What would be the reason for the excitement?
And you're Ochina budget presentation. So that's your idea.
I'm not, so why should I be excited?
So when you can analyze the budget statement.
And the analysis is not just if at the end of the day they are introducing more taxes to me analyzing new taxes and no, I cannot be excited. Okay. But of course,
are you expectant?
Media, I think said from the way I know my idea, I would be surprised if there won't be introduction of new taxes. As I said, see, one of the preconditions and one of the conditionalities for the accessing of the extended credit facility, you would want to increase your domestic revenue mobilization. Yes. And revenue for government comes from two sources: tax and non-tax revenue. But for the most part, it is taxes. Yeah, I mean, and we could be doing very well with, domestic mobilization of non-tax revenue. I mean, when you exclude grants, says CISE, your group and will be by way of categorization of our status as a country, as a lower middle income country. And I know by itself excludes you from enjoying certain benefits you hitherto enjoyed. Which means says we are a middle income country, from lower middle income you are getting closer to becoming a full-fledged middle income country, which means grants and your money that were given to you to support your budget.
Yes.
Says we started accessing international capital markets, because grants, tax revenue and non-tax revenue from maybe mining and other services our government renders, and budget, so we had no access to international capital markets. In fact, the closest we had were concessional lendings and to some extent to bilateral arrangements and so on. And Ukraine who can hippic Bible. But now you drop and pen, so we've managed the economy to a certain point. Yes, this is the idea. More income now has reached a certain threshold that qualifies you to be called lower middle income country.
Lower middle income.
And if you are lower middle income, LDCs na more grants, least developed countries. Yeah. Once you are lower middle income, that's just it makes it difficult to access grants. But almost your non-tax revenue a bit of our revenue. Like I said, there are two sources. That source, grants what we get from royalties, what we get from oil, and so on. I'm not talking about the tax components of our receipts from oil, the surface rents, but me say tubo we could be making a lot more than we are doing today. God is not giving us our due. Indeed, look, we should be making much more from our extractives than we are doing today. What is here? Yes, sorry, as you good since Yesika say free, and now I can't trust I know be a baby. And that is why we need to do some other things. Lithium air bay. There is something there is a fundamental mistake, and I don't want to speak to it so much because very soon some action is going to be taken to ensure that we don't repeat the ills of yesterday. And people should ignore the fanfare and the highfalutin words amount for you see here, in respect of some of the latest deals regarding lithium. We need to do a lot more so we can get the maximum from lithium. And to say, non-tax revenue, your revenue na in free mono, and also now IMF. So one of the conditionalities is that you need to up your your domestic revenue. If the non-tax revenue is not much, then obviously the tax revenue. How do you do it?
Introduce taxes or expand the tax net.
We always is the politically correct way of saying do nothing. Expand the tax net, is the politically correct way of saying do nothing. because static expansion of a no. A lot of Ghanaians are not covered in the net, and not much has been done to get them to pay taxes. Until the easiest way for Aban is to introduce new taxes to target the already overly taxed population. The tax population in this country, and Omono, when say it's easy to get them.
Sure.
Until when you are introducing, new tax bases, Omone will target. Production. What you hold, Dominic? What you want me bowa? Fancy what your arguments on Kwana way? You know, until we already the tax population is exhausted.
Yes.
What is here? Until we need to find a way to introduce new tax bases and the rest of it. Until I don't expect say budget I ever can new taxes but I be
and again, if what JJ said need anything to go by, and then a finance committee share finance minister, and amongst other things, he made it clear to them said Aban is looking at increasing the GDP, from 800 billion to 1 trillion, according to him.
How does he expect to do that?
I don't know.
You see, to increase your GDP, well, anyway,
it from 800 billion to 1 trillion, and additional revenue. I'm more expecting. You're expecting 11 billion cedis more additional revenue, and you will say how, and I'll say there will be new tax handles.
So okay, let's take it slowly. When you take the real economy,
yes,
there are about 3 sectors that make up the real economy: the services sector, the manufacturing, and then you have agric. What is it? Which of these sectors is the finance minister expecting and are projecting to be the biggest contributor?
Maybe those details will come tomorrow.
I read somewhere today, said they are saying, agric would be one of the anchor sectors that would ensure that increase in growth, GDP, in growth. No. And young got almost growing for planting for food and jobs phase 2.
Phase 2.
Phase 1 no cream we enough phase 2. The amount of money, I always believe in cost benefit analysis because it's the easiest way to tell whether you are doing a wrong investment and your investment is giving you value for money. Sika yediko share planting for food and jobs mono. Enin ye free mono. Ebwebra.
It was roughly 600 million Ghana cedis a year.
And yet, we still have food inflation being the highest, the driver of our general inflation. Exactly. Which else we said there is scarcity of food. Now, if you invest this much, you should expect an increase as a brofun here does. What is as a cake was check Kuyjuma? I say to me, trap Kuyjumano. What was here? Now, productivity because and output from agric, no, I say cost. And once output in agric, enkanka crop production and related subsectors now, economy now, you should expect say eduane bebu ebusu prices in bekoform. Now so enye which means that our investment in
agric no
and shadan yielded the needed outcomes.
But would food scarcity be the right term to use? Because consistently we've been told say and yes say eduane is scarce but getting them to the city centers now.
What is scarcity? Scarcity as interesting.
Yeah, maybe it's scarce in the city centers, in the villages. Maybe scarce.
You see, this is interesting. You can't market in
but
economics.
But you've heard that, haven't you?
That ridiculous argument I've heard. Minister, the
immediate past.
Atupa. You can say Atupa crack or Techima.
Akoto tops all.
Now, you should not the slogan. I mean, the slogan, but the founder of the Atupa movement,
the Cambridge trained
Atupa, yes, the Cambridge. Oh, Mami, let me give him the accolades that befit him.
The Cambridge trained agriculturalist Dr. Efri Akoto, aka the founder of Atupa movement. What a movement! Sure. What is it? Onukra, he told us Okotechima, he went and was no obiebi tapoli. So but in economics, you can market. It doesn't refer necessarily to a location or a setting.
What you must say? It's simply a space where there is buy and sell, where there are interactions amongst agents and between agents, buyers and sellers.
Okay.
And it's also a bit what teaching man and so be near Accra. The food market in Accra, no. On bet you catch us say there is shortage of food. And you can't say oh, because markets, like I said, are not just specific places, but anywhere where there is interaction between and amongst agents. Enkanka, buyers, producers, consumers, and so on and so forth. What does it? And you mean say, oh, there is no shortage of food because obisi uko teachima na iduane go ho. There be nankran for na. What am I saying? So I'm saying is that investment in agri didn't give us the needed output. Okay. And if we are saying that want to grow, you don't just say want to grow our economy by this much. You need to tell us, okay, sectors we in the real economy and the bet me amass our growth no aba. Then we can have proper discussion. Me sure that Ochina those details will come. But I don't see where is it services, because that's the most likely for a very long time. You know, Enuna is the biggest contributor to our GDP. Agri used to be our mainstay, but it's here a co-form. What is here? Yes. And ideally, you know, economic transformation, when there is that shift from one sector to the other by way of contribution to the GDP, now said there is economic transformation. But you see, the transformation is like it's ham-shaped. You move from agri, you go to manufacturing, then you go all the way to services. Then it begins to come down again. But manufacturing is missed. We just move straight from agri all the way to services. Until there is a missing link. Until in this conversation, the question I'm saying is which of the sectors never contributed to such huge increase in growth? No? Which of them? And like I'm saying, if agri is the anchor, then we have a problem. Because program no modi bano, omudi can be by. It didn't change much. Until Saul in phase 2 air bar. How shall we say? I mean, it's going to, ensure that. And again, media 2024 is an election year.
Okay.
When him said there's this problem of political business cycle, whereby you get the economy heated in the election year because you do investments, expenditures, you engage in pork barrel projects. Projects are more votes. Not necessarily because they are viable. Not necessarily they are efficient and are effective. What you say? At the end of the day, all the indicators now farewell no, and no. Elections no. Now you are back to fighting to bring them back, to optimal levels, which is a problem. And I am thinking, say. Omuka said they will do expenditure rationalization. I doubt very much. Say
but with the big brother around,
who is the big brother?
IMF, of course. Almost sure say.
But why do you think there is a delay in the release of the next tranche of the IMF disbursement? Why do you think there is a delay? Because we have failed to meet certain benchmarks.
Sure.
Until if we hit the economy up, you see the reason I echo IMF no. The finance minister was not seeking stability per se. So he can go back borrowing. No, he wants the markets to see that Ghana is back again and that we can access the markets again. That's the idea. The idea of going to IMF was not for us to stabilize and begin to grow from there, but so that we can be seen to be credit worthy once again. Now he can begin to go back borrowing. What I say?
Very well.
Until I don't see as it's going to be a big problem. Especially if you consider this thing about breaking the eight, but at the end, I did break it. And your pork barrel projects here. Oh, community ways see or more per coin, even if we haven't budgeted for it. I say, but we move, Yesikano, and so now say, there are a lot of projects that are hanging. Nini say, we don't plan for them, and Mikai maybe Tamana or Akufado was how do I say it? Promise happy on. Or for gonna be na promise back anymore. And no kahuna, we tended to spend on things that I am planning for. I just hope say 2024 at least finance minister no Crawford, even though not but I just hope say 2024 obebo no humodin, so that we do not become victims and are guilty again of this political business cycle. Until we wait to see the details tomorrow.
Mesan so about numusio kakra na mintie broja na expectations tomorrow. Broja, expectations nyame ya domo a ochina 2024 budget.
Obi me gidi se otisi abonten dwom obisa Ghana adwadifo a menye sure so bia expect bibi hu bia. Oh, say budget reading are very normal. I say just a requirement. Maybe some legal requirement. Or say a buying better crowd ye Juma. Or say Parliament. Emma approval. Into first noir reading of budget comes with so much expectations and excitement of what government's direction is going to be in terms of economic policies. No. See, I die out in Nihobio. Now, say people have given up, especially on this finance minister, because Obekaya MPP won Rashebeja for Ohani Eduasan Nsun Emu Eduoche Eba Bontin Bekanse finance minister way on Mono Humode Tin Kamampeni Kra Empamono. Mampeni share boso o kosan IMF krata na ba oba obepamono nso ono ana oda ho tewa akwa read budgeting obi the idea work grounds the nkofo a feeling no nkofo nyuma egu ena ukọ porter ekwaye empty unya kwan ne Ghana Port and Harbour mpanifo ni bi didi nkoma obi hu say finance minister how warm revenue generation because bibia yentum and the ships akesia e babesi e poano me di chain so na ya jisika kakra fe mo nyina ekotogo etiko port wa hoda ho hwe nti very very worrying unhu de papa we oye mama mpani akufo adonti a odan ho te ho because on one kasa adwuma kra no bronye twam December 2022 na ho kire si ho ema workers no kra nkofo kwa na omo threaten omo o kasa obi antena fie na omo nya adwuma from home ono ye finance minister ono manage economy no
but say you no managing adwuma no and you no catch the workers
which say if his direct policies, if his policies can have direct impact on his business, I will tell my colleague the offer be. Enti, meme free say, and near ma and keye pay no. Say aban o me ye hu say o ye wiem for. Near ma esesa aban ye emfa sika kese aban be responsible in spending. Man na mo buy na mo say mo kofa mraba na mo di mo ho so said de be ya sika ye di ni basabasa no ye ni bio mo kofa Fiscal Responsibility Act the act mo ni so afei friend give me so a NDC apen so ye de buy ya every expenditure of government must be checked. Na ya say sikana allocations na ya na noana agencies ni ministry obia edi sikana faso. Edu time wa buy na nkasa the biggest spender all best started so obedi covid scan no they give me not to chain. No why yes sikana basa. Enti we are expecting that aban bekasa ahuchira abai said the speaker of parliament aye. Ye mo na baso.
Why then?
Say workshop on Bayama members of parliament no. Woman wo parliament them wo
post budget review
parliament chamber ho no ye in charge wo mo ansa no matena ho because utie say hotel we the invoice aba hotel we the invoice aba we the invoice aba eno kre ko fan to kwa abai na ye wo parliament ho at least they've been able to cut down some cost. It may not be significant, but at least it paints a certain picture. Say abaya or dwene ho so obetete nema so. Now the presidential staffers are far from 2017 echo 2018 na ekosoro 2019 na ekosoro 2020 de bia de nipa ni bi ka ho bibi kresia obi adwuma efiri nensa Ghana for bompa say we de adwuma ne koka obi de ho no na ya san de obi foforo akotena ho so san koye adwuma eti aban ankasa ne expenditure obetimi atete so no eno na Ghana for ehwe Ghana 4% yet ochina say finance minister budgeter odi free cabinet eba no savings ben and awoye enye taxes are odi beto to so because taxes no bebre sa COVID-19 tax ya modia bay obi me say me da mitime dwene ho sa amenti ase oh yade a abekum yen anamoso amamanya sika akese sika aban we nya free covid ho no obi yare bia ni wa di sika bebra aban bi te se covid IMF omuhu ye mobo because world order eso yenye lockdown Kumase enkran tema ene baby kakaswa emeka ho sa lockdown ketuwa ye world order ye di ehun ko shame no ehwa na IMF o ma be $1 billion. Even post COVID o ma sa be $1 billion. A World Bank almost wa ma ye bi ye jejejeje o kika bomu a over 20 billion obi ye hu de this kan ye na ye wie ya sign the COVID-19 levy asa be to ye so sa COVID-19 levy na ye je no obi ye de ye den dien pa na ban e de ye sa 20 billion na ye nya from COVID-19 no aban betimi de nsa bibi so say yade yi ba ye we na ya hyen so de wo man ni mu a ye de nsa so say we na ye de sika ne bi ye obi e bi ni ho we wasted it yentumi point see hospital baako from the 20 billion and can say COVID-19 ba ye nti ye see hospital we awie aboswa penti mampani akobia no e bi ni ho
Asempa FM
ni asan je ho to yes I be china side the 12 foforo side be to yeso ye discount ye den obi men kasa aban no sabi o discount si jasore na so there's nothing meaningful I obetimi do on say so say ade we na esika no ye de komu a ye de ya e de mfaso obrega na man odi wani asi bet for so ene youth no na no meti yesi yimerwafo no kra nso so yesi bibi di aviator ya na atu omu nyina atwa bi aban di nani asi so ni nyina woje ho tax wa beji yi levy electronic levy wa beji eno so yehu chese minim aban we se opese okun Ghana fo se yedian yo ase tan ebra ye kasa kra no sa bre no na aban no wonfa na adwene nko esem no aye ka no so se si ama se economy yeni ani monyama ye de bobesia bio ese obi ani wa oye ready so obebo ye besia even IMF mpa wo mo hu ye mobo se baby economy na duru no and share was so money ye nyina they waived a lot of things and omo approve credit facility ne de mai obi unim se niam bebria na se nka ye aban ne ye ansana ya qualify for the credit facility no ye ntimi ani so agreement between us and our creditors and niam bebria wa ye ntimi anye but mampani na mo a one influential world leaders edim komo omo de pressure eto IMF also and omo approve mai enumpo no sika na beba kakra say akam. What is the problem? What is the problem? Ekofa saniema we say nyina ba ene Ghana abanya between 2017 ebesi 2021 also aban timi raise $11 billion euro bond nko $11 billion sa aban no enmonyama wonya ya odigi $11 billion no ene obi ampena ni mo ahe ya say economy no nti budget ho asem de obi no kreni obi ani ho a owe ni da so say ekokan bibi de ahoto bi abre obi a na omo san kofa said ye tete no san kofa tax biom san bade a obi ani edede no ye be fiti ase aye ye be fiti ase aye pa ene yewura idampare muna enkofo ye demonstration na mo etwintwan ya na mu ene ye be tintesu kokko pa akira aban sa aban nim no kofa tax be 0.00% of anything as a new tax to ochina aban no ye ne be chia yam yes because yam tna ho ma uhipu ahokyere ne obi every quarter you to electricity mu you to water bill mu every quarter and se say amone IMF akoye no busumi miensa on busumi miensa bia you to electricity to water bill mu aden o say confer another tax aba edin na wo ye dia matimamu for ye wan han ye hwesa tax waivers ya now ni honorable John Jinapo kan ho asemi obi bie ye ne company wo ye na adwuma ye free ne alisi companies bebre $10 million wey dey the chichenkofo ye busuafo ne enamfofo ne akopenti enkofo businesses wall keke yes 1D 1F near the signpost akobo without telling us how many people those waivers now yedema companies no increase in terms of even productivity, in terms of work employees. All of these cannot be measured. Mubeti tisani mana mudi yanam fusem edi bo afokubo no ama sika ba aban ho no mubeji ye tax na mu ria omo ye adwuma esese moji omo tax no mude cha wo mude cha wo so a ye wu ni padodo bi a omo san fa omo adwuma mu eti that kind of minim say accounting no said yen no enya dia eboa o man
okay
nti yes finance minister ye ka wontie o china ye bay obefiti ase with Bible quotations wakoshe white they are better that it say Christonia or do net mama ni panso no the book no ebu yekom
I say Christoni do ye Christoni
Christoni
ni so ye Christoni
oh say Christoni say wo from Christoni there say wo kwa sorry
I remember
but say
so ya we
meaning the person trying say sir Christ like
white garment wearing
or the be any so one what the be any so and honorable Adongo eka ensembi na anu about sir Nigerian movie be Piccadilly ekofo she da ye obi ekofo she da ye
ogoyi
ubenya obi a
ogoyi so o shata de white na
ubenya obi a ono obokro no pa enso no adoya a obeye no no de kata so adwuma a woye oso onya akatua jai to won so so a oso wonya
ase bi odoma oman ni bi ase oye bibi ma oman no
odoben
anti de no ayaman
odoben
de no ayaman
he's been your finance minister for the past
not the title we see e bi owo odoma oye bibi mai
de no de odone ye mai
today say no prophecy call
was secure IMF deal in record time
rade obi they move on
and is not
move on
in record time
or say on no MPs literally say almost they don't want him gone
I see but are you not aware the IMF deal was secured in record time
that's a testament to his incompetence
in record time
no in the first instance why did we have to and you know can say incompetent people in the IMF
but it was just by
waivers
benevolence
no to be frank anka staff level agreement kan Kenya
ya better na
Kenya approval
oh can it say man
na we kura na ya dis kanika kra mamu a munkoye niema bi na mo meje bi aka no enu kra mu ntimi nye
second tranche.
I'm a Sikanakam.
What be no second tranche no.
It
was supposed to have arrived on the first of.
No, it's not true. It's never true.
I think yeah, but
it's never true.
Brojame das.
Oh no, what is never true? Say we're supposed to get the next tranche and our time.
In 1st November, no. By 1st November.
When were we supposed to get?
November. And then my sister say, Information Minister Kra say, and IMF deal no be save economy. Hey.
Nobody is the truth.
Okano
Oh, Sama Mati.
Nobody is the truth. I mean, everybody knows.
Is that lie? But this is what we have been saying all this while. Momo Kache say we are a proud nation. Yemko IMF.
Okay, let me hear from Alfred. Alfred Akwabe to saying. What expectations na me adoma ochina?
Obi Michel, na Michel, I take me.
Omo Joso.
Oh, Bobo say we expect you. One can say me bo. Na just say
na me de odi no surprise.
Yes, wara. Say what's what white top into your back. I say what's what say.
Obi shirt we there. Nye finance minister dey ni bi o. Finance minister dey no. Spotless.
And it's
nipa o parliament dey no man.
Emma Ghana mine. Again so dey boa mpuntu ke say abagana.
Ochina dey more share white.
It's about Ghana mpuntu.
Ochina dey Ghana mpuntu.
Yeah. We have to see the direction.
Oh, say na ebia woni din.
Ebia woni din.
Oh, you mean the name is Ghana?
No, enye the name.
The focus.
Like I said, the focus is about the growth of the nation. I said it's everyone in a stage. There were year of roads. The focus was to make sure that the roads are motorable, and they did it. There were time. The first one was about the free SHS.
Any budget which is not growth focus.
I think the main focus is about growth, especially for the youth.
Growth for the youth.
Especially for the youth.
How is that?
The focus is going to be more on IT, the agri sector, the aquaculture, trade and industry, digitalization as a technology, tourism and sports.
When they focus areas, when privileged information,
oh, make catch you say,
and expectations are now.
I think
no, I want to be sure.
But he's here representing the ruling party.
So what he's saying,
he might have gotten privileged information.
Because if we are going to,
but want to be sure, say prediction, expectation,
and expectation, my expectation.
Okay, very
on sure. If those are your expectations, very well.
On sure, be opposite obisa.
Those are the expectations.
Every the time say oh kasa no bisa questions that I respond
very well.
Thank you very much.
In the expectations
we are looking at making sure say at the end of it all then a budget you say yeah catch us say we've taken the curve. I mean into the growth the world over the economic crunch akoso whether NDC likes it or not bet na kasa pi obianim what went on across the globe. Even some countries at the time toiletries Kenya did they didn't want to do it well. Piecemeal says yeah who says the strategy I fire because when I say woje noka woje no once and for all won twen na woje kitten wo be hwe no na echi won hu say am no ko say am no. And so at the end of it all no, we've taken a very deep nose diver. We know that nyamam ye den says here. But the most important thing is to bring things back to normal.
Okay.
Nyanko Pandom says here inflation and could do 54% plus no. Says here number 38. So you see that strategically things are coming down.
And government statisticians say are falling further by 2 percentage points.
It tells you that inflation. Yeah. It tells you that straight away something good is happening. Bibia Emma Mpuntio Baba Ghana Memu. And that is why we are focused on making sure, especially the youth, they'll be touched in every aspect. Because they are the future leaders of this country. Yeah, to me, it's now no breakwa. Yeah, to me, it's now no school, no money. So who say their PFJ, but PFJ too no is focused mainly on the youth, especially the youth. Go into this you say either small scale or commercial farming. Assassin now would there 10 acres. Now would there farming. After 5 years, you even have ownership to it. You can do bigger the farm hands now more on mom stripe so that they are focused to make sure say at the end of it all, no, products now back from the farms no will be brought to a light, and then government takes 20% of those products for other aspects, to say the free SHS ni other area more ni eduane ni ade on Bema schools no. So to tell you the truth no, it's not a baby, and Roger was saying casting assignations. Yeah, the your friends say more taxes be gusu ni ade ye be hu ni ade. They've heard say yen for taxes in Beka. We are not adding more taxes. We are looking at maybe opening or strengthening the tax your friends base no to be wide. Now you to mean more money into the system, and that is why so many things are being looked at to make sure say your tax be about 1 billion at this time it can move to 1.5 or 2 billion. How do you do that? By making sure that your base of the tax you've opened it wider, so that other people who are not being taxed or other people who are dodging from taxes near there no will come on board and pay. And these days no, now you can even sit in the comfort of your home through your mobile phone, through your PC, you can pay your taxes near there. It's made tax payment become easier, and that is what people want, the digitalization of all these things. A matter chance of making sure say you are paying your taxes no, it's on point. And you realize that now we are raking in some money. And these are things that we are looking at to make sure that we open it up to other avenues and other sectors of the economy. But the most important thing is to touch the lives of the people, to make sure say your first campaign share will go to Kuma, there will be D. And that is the most important thing. You did drive it the sector of the economy. Say apart from inflation, we won't say $1 now is stabilized from February to now. No, and Janet say
still around 11 point something.
Oh yeah, about 12.
Okay,
it's been
12.4 something.
It's not 12.4. It's 12. And then for my cost is 12.
12 need 12.4. There's a
difference.
12.1 difference. 12.1 difference. Baby, forex bureau. Oh, my catch us a Montreal. David, may catch you. If you like, from here, I'll take you to the car. I'll show you where the dollars are going to change.
Because this is a free market.
Free market.
No forex bureau. No, because sometimes, and this almost create more forex bureau. Until we wait to have friend horses here. Say, "Upa friend number." I got to say here. Ube friend na your NDC forex bureau. No main increase prices.
12.45. Some percent
commercial
bank.
It's one person may be submission.
What they
all
of us.
So me, I'm not educated.
So at least
around. Why are you saying that my
12
information? My information is wrong.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but his is not wrong either.
That doesn't mean mine is wrong.
So don't.
Okay,
argue with me on that.
It's 12 to 12.5.
Well, that it's been stabilized for some time now.
Okay.
If this is the range, anyway.
I think I didn't watch it. May you?
Oh, sorry.
But no, the real growth, no, so try to make sure say at least it's going up. Muhu say after the IMF talks, after the way I say you grow, no, it's been faster than expected because now we wanted to go, I think around 1.5 or so, but it went around 2 to 3% growth, and so it tells you say the Ananado can say we know how to bring the economy back to life. No, it's really yielding its effects near there. Who say we are not joking on the job, we are not raising our hands in despair. You can't say you are focused on what you have to do to bring the economy back to life because COVID now affected economic crunch now affected all nations, and now America say Sweden is asking for a $7 billion bailout from their central bank because of the economic crunch. So it tells you say plenty people. A lot of economies are suffering, but we are focused to make sure, say, at least to make sure that what we say will deliver to Ghanaians, no, we'll do. But that doesn't mean that we also have to overspend. We are working within the normal means, even though it's an election year. No, we don't want to put so much strain on the budget. And after that, it throws you out of gear. We are focused on making sure, say, whatever we have to deliver, we deliver within the time and within the framework. Planning. Still, the salaries of CEOs and ministers and they've been cut, and they are still using it to support the worker minister. So it tells you that yes, the government is focused. They are not keen on making sure, say, the Ghanaians suffer for whatever losses are and whatever conditions are. It to me, if whatever we have to do to make sure, say, even with all these challenges, still the free SHS is being addressed. STEM schools are being opened across 10 regions of this country. 10 sports centers are opened across this 10 regions of this country. We're still putting in. You have 16 now sports centers. No,
I mean 16 regions.
Oh no, but I'm saying 10.
Almost started with 10.
10 regions. So we'll increase it gradually. It's a phase thing. Now the agenda 111 is ongoing. We haven't given up on it. There are hospitals by early next year. Some hospitals will be commissioned, and people will see the work that the president has put on board. And so the focus is to make sure that every sector of this economy, we've touched on it, we've touched base, and we've made sure that we are sorting people out, and people will start feeling the yields that we've put in place. It's been a tough time. It's been a tough year. We are thanking all Ghanaians. Even though there were tough times and tough conditions, they supported us. Even though some were not happy with what was going on, they begin to realize, and we are happy that at least we didn't lose focus. We didn't get scared. We didn't put our hands on our head and throw our hands in the space. We are focused, and we are going to deliver. And now, the drive for next year is going to be conscious to make sure, the growth agenda now, touching on the youth now. It's not about white collar jobs. It's not about going to sit in the office and just put on a tie and say, you can start your own business. And that is why we are focused on the IT, the business incubation now. When say every year, the president gives some funding to some young people start your businesses near there. And these people are being taught day in, day out. With the banks, they are doing it with business centers near there to make sure they learn and they grow within the business. Because 1 year, 2 years, within 5 years and above, now when who say yes, the business has really taken place, and that is what we are doing on the youth. And so we are not going to relent our effort. To make sure they touch your lives. And tomorrow, I believe that you have a very good budget from the minister, and everybody will be happy.
Alfred Thompson, you're turning kind of former deputy CEO, ADBA CEO and MD.
ADB, NIB, it was
NIB,
MD,
sorry.
MD stroke CEO.
MD stroke CEO, the former deputy MD stroke CEO, NIB. Ekosiisen, Sansona earlier, motive from Atik Mohammed and Broja Jemfi. Broja Jemfi is now deputy director of special duties at the NDC. In the Broja Nyeni Paketwa. Yeah, director special duties. Also, I'm where day. Special duties.
They do special duties.
That's
the name.
Special duties.
Rest ipsa located.
Special duties to me change my P.
Ways and means.
It speaks for itself.
Ways and means now. Which of the ways and means?
Also, that was started as deputy no Babaye main.
He was a he was deputy to MP for Honorable Bezeden.
And
call parliament.
And Babaye main. Sure. No, a deputy. Yeah, mainly
Vincent
Kwagbenu, yeah, former NSS director. Yeah. And they are a strong team. Broja Jemfini Kwagbenu.
There are 2 other deputies as well.
Oh, really? We have 3.
Yes, former deputy minister for Upper West region, Honorable Kalio Caesar.
Kalio Caesar.
Yes, and lawyer Nantoma, and so a former regional. Former aspirant for Bimbila.
HSA special duties, special duties.
Operations.
For there be more operations, so I no more special duties.
Special duties is operation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, special duties. Why do you want to know what it means?
But you have to understand. You want to come into power, we need to know what your special duties.
After this very, very short break, we'll do any other business. They are 12 median, so stay with us here. Best is here.